How can summer tutoring help your child with learning challenges? Summer is an amazing time to take advantage of where we tend to have fewer constraints academically and can really focus more on academic skills building. During the school year, students often receive so much homework, and just getting through their homework can be a battle in and of itself. But during the summer, we really have the opportunity to develop core reading, writing, math, and executive functioning skills, and also fill in any learning gaps that students may have developed along the way. So, what's the first step in coming up with an effective summer tutoring plan? Well, step one is starting with an initial evaluation. Whether you go with an individual tutor or tutoring program, you want to make sure that they start with an initial evaluation to gauge your child's specific needs. Are they struggling with reading? If so, which aspects of reading are they having difficulty with? Is it decoding, meaning sounding out words? Is it spelling? Is it expressing their thoughts on paper when writing? Is it math? If so, is it more math word problems, math computation? Are they struggling with their executive functioning skills? Or really, is it a combination of skills that they need help with? We also want to look at any gaps they have. With math, for example, some students might be taking algebra, but they never really mastered multiplication or division. Summer is really a wonderful opportunity for us to fill those gaps and work on skills building. Now, once step one is done and we've done that initial evaluation, step two is coming up with an individualized learning plan using the right research-based multisensory techniques that are most ideal for your child. For example, if your child is really struggling with decoding, with sounding out words when reading, and also with spelling, Orton Gillingham instruction will likely help them tremendously. We'll start with where they're at now at the time of the assessment, whether it's having difficulty with basic CVC, meaning consonant, vowel, consonant words. They might be struggling more with words that have various vowel patterns that they're having difficulty with, or maybe it's longer multisyllabic words. Whatever it is, we want to start with where they're at now, what their struggles are, and then build upwards from there. If they're struggling with writing, we want to come up with a targeted plan for writing. Are they struggling at the sentence level? Are they struggling at the simple paragraph level? Are they struggling at the extended paragraph level or the 5-paragraph essay level? Again, we want to start with where they're at and come up with a targeted plan to teach them how to brainstorm, write, and self-check their thoughts on paper when writing. If they're struggling with math, like I alluded to before, we want to really identify if there are any gaps that they never quite solidified during their learning process. There are so many students that never quite mastered addition facts, subtraction facts, multiplication facts. We want to have automaticity and fluency with those basic facts, which will continue to play a role as they move through school. Summer's a great time to work on filling those gaps. In terms of executive functioning, many students with ADHD and with executive functioning challenges really struggle with skills like planning, organization, time management, task initiation. Summer is a wonderful time to teach them strategies for building different aspects of executive functioning and giving them lots of practice and repetition to start to internalize these strategies. We can also help them set up systems and strategies before the school year kicks in. For example, we can help them set up a study space where they will consistently do their work. We can help them set up organizational systems, both in terms of physical materials and electronic materials, teaching them to organize files on their computer if that's applicable for them. We can teach them color-coded strategies before the school year starts, where we might pick a color for each subject, like green for science or purple for English, blue for math, and so on. And every folder, Every notebook will correspond to that color for that specific subject. So in the summer, we can really set up all of these systems before the school year begins to help your child start the school year out on a positive note. The other piece when looking for an effective summer tutor is not just someone who, of course, specializes in working with students like your child, whether they have ADHD, dyslexia, a different type of learning disability, autism, or maybe just a skills challenge like reading, writing, or math. It's really important that you find someone who specializes in those particular skills and in working with students with your child's profile. But aside from that, you want to really make sure that you find a tutor who your child will connect well with. Having that chemistry, having that connection is such a big component to students being receptive and open to learning new strategies and new ideas. So again, summer is an incredible time to take advantage of. If your child isn't going to be in camp or has stretches of time where they have more availability, maybe even think about doing more intensive sessions during those times and maybe less times when they're not as available. But the more you can take advantage of summer, the more likely they are to, first off, avoid the summer slide, but also really start the year off on a positive note. I am the founder and director of EBL Coaching. I'm Dr. Levy, and at EBL Coaching, we do a tremendous amount of one-on-one summer tutoring, both at our learning center as well as at your home, and we also do virtual tutoring with students worldwide. We're more than happy to help your child with an initial evaluation and then coming up with an individualized summer tutoring plan. So contact us today to see how we can help your child excel in school, take advantage of summer, and start the new school year on a positive note.